What's going on, guys? Dave of the Dead here with The Forest of Doom. Now, this game is a little different. It's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure game, so it's kind of going to be like a visual novel, but it's also mixed in with like a little bit of like tabletop gaming elements, because you're going to roll dice and kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons thing. But it seemed interesting, and it was on sale, and I bumped the desk. So we're just going to get right into it. It's going to be a lot of reading, so heads up. Roll your starting stamina. Okay. Oh! Okay, so it's 6 plus 12, so it's 18. Alright, next, determine my skill. I assume that's what they meant. Oh, come on, 8. Bro. Alright, so it's luck. How naturally likely of a person we are. Come on! We can do better than that. Okay. So it's a 1 bottle of a magical potion. So restore skill, stamina, or luck. I do have a lot of stamina. I'm going to go with skill. Once you select your potion, you may begin. Let's do it! You are an adventurer, a sword for hire, and have been roaming the northern borderlands of your kingdom. Having always spurned the dullness of village life, you now wander the lands in search of wealth and danger. Despite the long walks and rough outdoor life, you are content with your unknown destiny. The world holds no fears for you, as you are a skillful warrior, well practiced in the art of slaying evil men and beasts with your trusty sword. Not once during the last 10 days since entering the northern borderlands have you set eyes upon another person. This does not worry you at all, as you are happy with your own company and enjoy the slow, sunny days hunting, eating, and sleeping. It is evening, and having feasted on a dinner of rabbit, spit roasted on an open fire, you settle down to sleep beneath your sheepskin blanket. There's a full moon, and the light sparkles on the blade of your broadsword, skewered into the ground by your side. You gaze at it, having wondered when you will next have to wipe the blood off of some vile creature from its sharp edge. These are strange lands, inhabited by weird and loathsome beasts, goblins, trolls, and even dragons. As the flame of your campfire gently dies, you begin to drift asleep, and images of screaming green-faced trolls flicker through your mind. Suddenly, in the bushes to your left, you hear the loud crack of a twig breaking under a clumsy foot. You leap up and grab your sword from the ground. You stand motionless but alert, ready to pounce on your unseen adversary. Then you hear a groan, followed by the dull thud of a body falling to the ground. Is it a trap? Slowly you walk over to the bush where the noise is coming from, and carefully you pull back the branches. You look down to see a little old man with a great bushy beard, his face contorted with pain. You crouch down to remove the iron helmet covering his balding head, and notice 2 crossbow bolts protruding from the stomach of his plump, chainmail-clad torso. Picking him up, you carry him over to the fire and stir the dying embers into life. After covering him with the sheepskin blanket, you manage to get the old man to drink a little water. He coughs and moans. He sits up rigid, eyes staring fixedly ahead, and he starts to shout, "I'll get them! I'll get them! Don't you fear, Gillibrand! Big Leg is coming to bring you the hammer! Oh, yes, indeed I am! Oh, yes!" The dwarf, whose name you presume to be Big Leg, is obviously delirious from the poison-tipped bolts lodged in his stomach. You watch as he slumps down again to the ground, then whisper his name in his ear. His eyes stare unblinkingly at you as he again starts to shout, "Ambush! Look out! Ambush! Ah! The hammer! Take the hammer to Gillibrand! Save the dwarfs!" His eyes half close, and the pain seems to ease a little, and as the delirium subsides, he speaks to you again in a low whisper. "Help us, friend! Take the hammer to Gillibrand! Only the hammer will unite our people against the trolls. We were on our way to Darkwood in search of the hammer, ambushed by the little people, others killed. The map in my pouch will take you to the home of Yastromo, the master mage of these parts. He has great magics for sale to protect you against the creatures of Darkwood. Take my gold. I beg you to find the hammer and take it to Gillibrand, my lord of Stonebridge. You will be rewarded. Big Leg opens his mouth to start another sentence, but nothing comes out except his last dying breath. You sit down and ponder Big Leg's words. Who is Gillibrand? Who is Yaztromo? What is all the fuss about the dwarfish hammer? You reach over to the still body of Big Leg and remove the pouch from the leather belt around his waist. Inside you find 30 gold pieces and a map. Alright. Yaztromo's something. I can't read that. Darkwood Forest, okay. Jingling the coins in your hand, you think of the possible rewards which may await you for just returning a hammer to the village of dwarfs. You decide to try to find the hammer in Darkwood Forest. It's been a few weeks since your last good battle, and what is more, you are likely to be well paid for this one. With your mind made up, you settle down to sleep, having taken back the sheepskin blanket from the poor Big Leg. In the morning, you bury the old dwarf and gather your possessions. You examine the map, look up to the sun, and find your bearings. Whistling merrily, you head off south at a good pace, eager to meet this man Yaztromo and see what he has to offer. Now turn over. All right. Okay. Well, your walk to Yaztromo's takes a little over half a day, and you arrive at his stone tower dirty and hungry. As the tower is set back on the edges of Darkwood, some 50 meters from the path you have been following, it is difficult to find. Finally, you walk up to the huge oak door, somewhat relieved to find that it does exist and that Big Leg had not been speaking wildly in his delirium. A large brass bell and gong hang from the stone archway. As you ring the bell, a shiver runs down your spine, and you realize that the loud bong invades a deep silence, which you had not noticed before. There are no sounds of birds or animals to be heard. You wait anxiously at the door and hear slow footsteps descending the stairs from the tower above. A small wooden slot in the door slides open and two eyes appear and examine you. Well, who are you? Demands a grumpy voice through the hole. You answer that you are an adventurer in search of the master mage Yaztromo, intending to purchase magical items from him to combat the creatures of Darkwood Forest. Oh, in that case, if you are interested in buying some of my merchandise, you had better come up. I am Yaztromo. He then turns and slowly climbs the stone stairs. Will you follow him up the stairs, or draw your sword and attack him? Well, let's follow him up the stairs. We'll see what's going on at first. We won't attack right away. You follow the huffing and puffing old man in his tattered robes up the spiral staircase to a large room at the top of the tower. Shelves, cupboards, and cabinets line the walls, all filled with bottles, jars, and weapons, armor, and all manner of strange artifacts. I've never seen artifacts spelled that way. Yaztromo shuffles past the general clutter and slumps down in an old oak chair. He reaches into his top pocket and pulls out a fragile pair of gold-rimmed spectacles. Placing these on his nose, he picks up a piece of slate and chalk from a table next to his chair and begins to write frantically. He then hands you the slate. Okay, so looks like we can get a bunch of potions. Anti-poison would be cool. Plant control, stillness, insect control, holy water, ring of light, boots of leaping, rope of climbing. Gold times 2. Brown leather boots that magically help you jump higher. Yeah. Let's do that. What's a ring of light? Seeing the darkest depths? Yeah, I mean, it would, so we don't have to have a torch or a lantern or something. Anti-poison, definitely. I mean, we're in a forest, probably would want, plant control. Holy water. Oh, no! Oh, there's even more. Armband of strength, glove of missile dexterity. A purple silk glove that helps the wearer throw accurately. Garlic buds. Useful against vampires. There are vampires in here. Nose filters. Block odors. Fire capsules. Sure. Headband of concentration. I've never played a game like this, nor have I ever played D&D. But I've been listening to The Adventure Zone. It's like a D&D podcast. I just finished the first arc of that, and it's interesting. I want to play D&D and have adventures like that, but let's see. Sure. Let's go. Okay, I got the plant control. There's a healing one. Okay. I think we're good. He tells you that all the instructions for use are written clearly on the labels attached to the items. Together with their suggested use. He sighs and tells you that, unfortunately, the magic in the items only works once, but they are the best you can buy for the money. Nostromo then asks you the reason for the purchase of the items, and you tell him your story and your decision to continue the quest of the luckless Big Leg.
Ah, yes,
Nostromo says slowly, rubbing his chin.
I heard that the good dwarfs of Stonebridge had lost their fabled warhammer. Without it, their king is unable to arouse his people, despite the fact that the hill trolls threaten his village. Rumor has it that an envious king of another village of dwarves sent an eagle to Stonebridge to steal the hammer, which it managed to do. But as it flew over Darkwood, it was attacked by deathhawks, and the hammer dropped into the forest and was lost. Apparently, 2 forest goblins found the hammer, but could not decide who was to keep it. They wrestled for hours, but gave up. Then they discovered that the handle unscrewed from the head, and argument was settled. One kept the head, the other kept the handle. Then they parted, each happy with his new treasure. Who knows if they still have them? So, I'm afraid your problems are doubled. I can tell you that the head is made of bronze, and the handle is made of polished ebony. Both head and handle have the letter G inscribed on them. Your task is not easy. Good luck.
You thank Nostromo and leave the room by the spiral staircase. Outside, in the bright light, you notice the dead quietness again. A narrow path leads northwards from the tall grass surrounding Nostromo's tower and into the dense undergrowth of Darkwood Forest. In a few strides, you are surrounded by the dark and tangled forest. Stones and knotted roots seem to hide in the shadows, and you can almost believe that they're trying to trip you up. The light fades quickly, and the air becomes moist and unpleasant. Excuse me. Deeper and deeper you go into the gloom. Eventually, the path forks on either side of a huge tree. Go west or east? Well, for me, I'm familiar with the east side of my town, so I'm going to go east. The narrow path continues to cut its way through the tangled forest. Strange animal cries and noises echo through the trees. At last, the path widens to approximately a meter across. Soon you arrive at a moss-covered wooden signpost, on top of which sits a large crow. The arms of the signpost read north and east. Just as you are deciding which way to continue, you hear the words, "Good afternoon." You look up in the direction of voice and see the crow looking down at you inquisitively. "Good afternoon," you reply slowly. "Oh, good afternoon." Feeling a little foolish, the crow speaks again, asking which way you are headed. You reply that you are looking for 2 goblins, small sinewy creatures with brown, scaly skin. "1 gold piece will buy my advice," states the crow confidently. I'll listen to what he's got to say. And we're going to see what he has to say in the next episode, guys. So stay tuned for that. As always, keep on being awesome, guys. You guys are great. And we'll see you next time. Bye.